The Celestials. The Celestials were an ancient race that existed millions of years before the Galactic Republic, possessing technology and abilities so advanced they appeared godlike to later civilizations. According to Legends continuity, these beings were responsible for constructing massive megastructures that modern science still cannot fully explain or replicate. Their most famous creation was Centerpoint Station, a facility roughly 100 kilometers in radius capable of moving entire planets through hyperspace across the galaxy. The Celestials allegedly used this technology to arrange the 5 planets of the Corellia system into their current positions, though scholars debate whether this was intentional terraforming or served some other purpose. Another mysterious creation attributed to them is the Maw, a cluster of black holes arranged in a geometrically impossible formation near Kessel. This region defies conventional astrophysics, suggesting the Celestials could manipulate gravity and space-time itself. They disappeared approximately 1 million years ago, leaving behind only ruins, legends, and artifacts scattered across the galaxy. Some ancient texts suggest the Celestials may have created or fundamentally altered the Force itself, though this remains speculation. Their crystalline architecture and weathered temples can still be found on forgotten worlds, standing as monuments to a civilization that shaped the physical structure of the galaxy before vanishing without explanation. Abeloth. Abeloth, known as the Bringer of Chaos or simply the Mother, represents one of the most terrifying entities in Star Wars Legends continuity. She was originally a mortal woman who served the ones of Mortis as a caretaker, but her desire for immortality led her to drink from the font of power and bathe in the pool of knowledge simultaneously. This act transformed her into a cosmic horror with immense dark side abilities and drove her completely insane. The transformation granted her the power to possess multiple bodies across the galaxy at once, manipulate matter at will, and drive Force-sensitive beings mad through mere proximity. Her appearance became monstrous, with multiple writhing tentacles emerging from a shifting humanoid form, surrounded by reality-warping energy. The Ones imprisoned her within the Maw cluster approximately 100,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, using the gravitational forces of multiple black holes to contain her power. She remained trapped until the Fate of the Jedi novel series in 43 ABY, when destabilization of the Maw allowed her escape. Her release caused widespread Force psychosis among Jedi, requiring Luke Skywalker and Darth Krayt, natural enemies, to temporarily cooperate against a threat beyond traditional light or dark side conflicts. Even their combined efforts could only temporarily defeat her, not permanently destroy her. The Father. The Father was the leader of the Ones, a family of godlike Force wielders who existed on Mortis, a realm outside normal space and time. Appearing in the Clone Wars animated series during the Mortis arc, he served as the embodiment of balance between his 2 children, the son who represented the dark side and the daughter who represented the light. The Father possessed abilities far beyond any Jedi or Sith, including the power to completely suppress other Force users' abilities with a gesture and manipulate Force energy on a cosmic scale. His age remained unknown, though dialogue suggested he had maintained balance for hundreds of thousands of years in his timeless realm. During the Clone Wars, he brought Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano to Mortis to test whether Anakin was truly the Chosen One prophesied to bring balance to the Force. The Father considered passing his responsibility to Anakin, believing the Chosen One could maintain equilibrium between light and dark after his death. When the son killed the daughter and attempted to escape Mortis to conquer the galaxy, the Father made the ultimate sacrifice, allowing Anakin to use his dying life force to stop the son permanently. His death disrupted the cosmic balance he had maintained, potentially enabling the rise of the Galactic Empire and destabilizing the Force itself throughout the galaxy. The Son. The Son was the physical embodiment of the dark side of the Force, one of the ones who dwelled on Mortis alongside his father and sister. He represented chaos, passion, and the destructive nature of the dark side, constantly struggling against his father's attempts to maintain balance. The Son possessed the ability to transform from a humanoid form into a massive winged gargoyle-like creature approximately 4 meters in wingspan, with claws capable of tearing through durasteel. His appearance featured pale skin, dark robes with red accents, and glowing red eyes that intensified when channeling dark side power. During the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars Season 3, the Son demonstrated precognitive abilities by showing Anakin Skywalker a vision of his future as Darth Vader, attempting to corrupt the Chosen One to his cause. He killed his sister, the daughter, in his attempt to escape Mortis and conquer the galaxy, believing his power should reign supreme without his father's restrictions. The son could corrupt Force users with a touch, temporarily turning Ahsoka Tano to the dark side during the conflict. His arrogance ultimately proved his downfall when Anakin Skywalker, wielding both light and dark side simultaneously as the Chosen One, managed to kill him with the dagger of Mortis. The son's death, combined with the father's sacrifice, disrupted the cosmic balance that had been maintained for millennia. The daughter. The daughter served as the physical embodiment of the light side of the Force, representing peace, selflessness, and the protective aspects of the Force itself. She was one of the ones of Mortis, the sister of the son and daughter of the father, working to maintain balance against her brother's chaotic nature. The daughter could transform from her elegant humanoid form into a magnificent griffin-like creature with widespread wings, large enough to carry multiple passengers through the skies of Mortis. Her appearance featured flowing robes in green and gold colors, with glowing green eyes that radiated serenity and compassion. During the events of the Clone Wars Mortis arc, she demonstrated healing abilities and the power to purify dark side corruption, opposing her brother's malevolent influence at every turn. When the son mortally wounded Anakin Skywalker in his scheme to escape Mortis, the daughter made the ultimate sacrifice by transferring her life force to save the Chosen One, embodying the light side principle of selfless devotion. Before dying completely, she transferred her remaining essence into Ahsoka Tano, resurrecting Anakin's Padawan after the son had corrupted and killed her. This transfer of life force may have influenced Ahsoka's unique path, eventually leading her to walk away from the Jedi Order while still serving the light. The daughter's death before the father's meant the dark side temporarily gained advantage in the cosmic balance. The Bendu. The Bendu was an ancient Force-sensitive being who represented the center between light and dark sides of the Force, claiming to be the one in the middle of the Ashla and the Bogan. Discovered on the planet Atalan during Star Wars Rebels Season 3, this massive creature lived in isolation within mountainous wilderness, avoiding the conflicts between Jedi, Sith, and the Galactic Empire. The Bendu stood approximately 8 to 10 meters tall when manifesting physically, with a stone-like body covered in swirling patterns that shifted between light and dark, symbolizing his balanced nature. His voice, provided by Tom Baker, spoke in philosophical riddles and ancient wisdom about the nature of the Force beyond traditional Jedi teachings. The Bendu possessed incredible abilities, including weather manipulation, summoning massive storms, and directing lightning with precision across battlefields. He could become invisible or intangible at will, phasing through solid matter and disappearing when he chose not to be observed. When Kanan Jarrus sought his guidance, the Bendu taught lessons about accepting both light and darkness within oneself, rather than denying either aspect. However, when the rebels brought Imperial forces to Atalan, the Bendu became enraged at being drawn into their conflict, manifesting as a massive storm entity that attacked both sides indiscriminately. His anger demonstrated that even balanced beings could be dangerous when provoked, and his final words warned that he saw darkness in Kanan's future. The Force Priestesses. The Force Priestesses were 5 mysterious beings who existed on a plane between life and death, serving as guardians of the secret to retaining consciousness after death through the Force. These entities appeared in the Clone Wars Season 6 during the Lost Missions arc, where they tested Yoda and ultimately taught him the technique that would allow Jedi to become Force ghosts. Each priestess represented a different aspect of the Force and emotional experience: serenity, joy, anger, confusion, and sadness, wearing distinctive golden masks that displayed their corresponding emotions. They resided at the wellspring of life, a mystical realm accessible only to those the Force deemed worthy of learning its deepest secrets. The priestesses appeared as ethereal feminine figures, draped in flowing white robes, floating through abstract cosmic spaces while speaking in harmonious, echoing voices that seemed to come from everywhere at once. To prove Yoda's worthiness, they forced him to confront his darkest fears, his inner darkness, and even a vision of his potential fall to the dark side. Without their guidance and teachings, the ability for Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and eventually Anakin Skywalker to return as Force ghosts would never have existed. Their existence suggested that even the highest Jedi Masters had not fully understood the Force's nature, and that consciousness preservation required knowledge from beings operating at a cosmic level beyond mortal comprehension. Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus, known as the Lord of Hunger, was a Sith Lord who transcended normal existence to become a wound in the Force itself, transforming into pure hunger that consumed entire planets. According to Legends continuity from Knights of the Old Republic 2, Nihilus was no longer truly alive, but existed as dark side energy bound within his distinctive white mask and black robes. His most terrifying ability allowed him to drain all Force energy and life from entire planets instantly, feeding on their essence to sustain his cursed existence. In 3951 BBY, Nihilus demonstrated this power by destroying all life on the planet Qatar, killing millions, including nearly the entire Miraluka species, and multiple Jedi who had gathered there. His speech became unintelligible to most beings, communicating only through the Force in ways that few Force sensitives could understand. Nihilus commanded the Ravager, a half-destroyed interdictor-class cruiser that reflected his own decaying state, traveling the galaxy in search of Force-sensitive populations to consume. Conventional Force attacks proved ineffective against him, since he could simply absorb the energy, making him nearly invulnerable to traditional Jedi or Sith combat. His defeat came only when Mitra Surik, a Force-severed individual who had no Force energy for him to consume, confronted him directly. Upon his death, his body revealed nothing but empty armor and robes, as no organic form remained within. Vitiate. Vitiate, who later took the identity of Valkorion, was an ancient Sith emperor who achieved immortality by consuming all life on an entire planet and ruled galactic civilizations for over 1,300 years. Born as Tenebrae around 5113 BBY, he became a Sith Lord by age 10, seizing control of the planet Medrius through pure Force domination and ruthless intelligence. In 4999 BBY, Vitiate performed a catastrophic Sith ritual that drained every living thing on the planet Nathema, including over 8,000 Sith Lords who participated in the ceremony, transforming himself into an immortal entity while leaving the world as a lifeless void, stripped of all Force presence. He ruled the reconstituted Sith Empire from the shadows for over a millennium, manipulating events across the galaxy while simultaneously creating an alternate identity as Valkorion, the beloved immortal emperor of the eternal empire of Zakul. Vitiate possessed the ability to transfer his consciousness between bodies, allowing him to survive death repeatedly and maintain his power across multiple civilizations. He could dominate the minds of thousands simultaneously, turning entire populations into willing servants, and his mastery of the dark side exceeded nearly every other Sith in recorded history. In Old Republic-era stories, he was finally destroyed by a powerful Force user known as the Outlander, around 3630 BBY, though even in death, his spirit attempted to possess and corrupt his killer. The ones who came before. The ones who came before were mysterious beings who created or discovered the world between worlds, a dimension existing outside linear time where all moments across history exist simultaneously and can be accessed through glowing doorways. This mystical realm appeared in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, hidden beneath an ancient Jedi temple on Lothal, featuring infinite pathways connecting countless points in space and time throughout the galaxy's history. The ancient murals surrounding the portal depicted the father, son, and daughter from Mortis, suggesting these unknown builders either worshipped or were connected to those godlike beings. Each doorway within the world between worlds showed a different moment in history, allowing observers to witness events from any point in time, and potentially even alter them if they physically entered. Ezra Bridger accessed this realm during the final season of Rebels, using it to save Ahsoka Tano from her duel with Darth Vader by pulling her through a portal moments before her apparent death. Emperor Palpatine desperately sought to control the world between worlds, believing it would grant him ultimate power over time itself and allow him to reshape history according to his will. The fact that even Palpatine, one of the most powerful Force users in history, needed this realm suggests its creators operated on a level beyond even the most accomplished Sith or Jedi. Ezra ultimately destroyed the portal on Lothal to prevent Palpatine's access, though whether other entrances exist remains unknown. Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker was a virgin in the Force, the prophesied chosen one born without a biological father who would bring balance by destroying the Sith. Born in 41 BBY on Tatooine to Shmi Skywalker, Anakin possessed a midi-chlorian count exceeding 20,000 per cell, higher than any Jedi ever recorded, including Yoda, who reportedly measured around 17,000 compared to the average Jedi's 10,000. Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn discovered him as a slave boy and believed he was conceived by the Force itself, though some sources suggest his creation may have been an unintended consequence of Darth Plagueis and Palpatine's experiments manipulating midi-chlorians. During the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, the Father tested Anakin as a potential successor, and only Anakin demonstrated the ability to control both the son and daughter simultaneously by channeling both sides of the Force at once. Despite his potential, Anakin fell to the dark side and became Darth Vader, serving as Palpatine's enforcer for 23 years and hunting down the remaining Jedi across the galaxy. His redemption came in 4 ABY when he sacrificed himself to save his son Luke and destroy Emperor Palpatine, finally fulfilling the prophecy by eliminating the Sith entirely and restoring balance to the Force. Anakin's ability to become a Force ghost despite decades immersed in the dark side demonstrated that his fundamental nature as the Chosen One transcended normal Force limitations. The Wills. The Wills are enigmatic beings who observe and chronicle the history of the galaxy, possibly existing beyond the Force itself, in a layer of reality above even the most powerful Force users. According to George Lucas's original concepts, the entire Star Wars saga was framed as the Journal of the Wills, suggesting these beings record or even narrate the events we witness across all films and series. In current canon, they are referenced in Rogue One through the Guardians of the Wills, a spiritual order on Jedha that included Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, who protected the Temple of the Kyber and followed the teachings of these mysterious entities. The final line of Rogue One, "May the Force of others be with you," directly references the Wills' philosophy about the Force connecting all living things. Lucas described the Wills as cosmic observers who exist outside the story itself, watching galactic events unfold from a perspective beyond mortal comprehension. If the Wills exist as originally conceived, they would represent the highest level of existence in Star Wars cosmology, surpassing even the Celestials and the ones of Mortis in their understanding and relationship with reality. Their true nature remains intentionally mysterious, never fully explained or visually depicted in any canonical material, leaving scholars and fans to speculate whether they are physical beings, pure consciousness, or something entirely beyond conventional understanding. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.